There we go.
There we go. All right, thank you everyone, and like I said, thank you for joining us tonight for the workshop meeting. Go ahead and move on to roll call. Trish?
Councilwoman Boyd.
Here.
Councilman Richard Gere. Councilor Joshua Harris.
Here.
Councilor Michael McGinley.
Here.
Councilor Walter Taggart.
Here.
Council Vice President Raven Moran. Council President Emily Sheffield.
Here.
Mayor Bob Berger.
Here.
All right, now I will hand it off to Mayor Berger to start us off with the mayor's report.
Okay, did you get that, Mike? Hello, good citizens of Ridley Park. What I wanted to start off with was touching base off something I spoke last month about, and I'm going to share some information with all of council. Again, what I plan to introduce, again, nothing new to our great borough. We've done it probably about 4 or 5 students through the time, but I want to reintroduce our junior counselor opportunity. Okay, so again, this would be something that we push out to the high school. You know, it can go to some of the other private schools as well. Normally the criteria is that you have to live in Ridley Park, but just kind of introduce some young people to council, to the process. And again, if this is somebody that really is a go-getter, it could be excellent because they kind of help us with, kind of get some young people, get some people engaged. So look for that. I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments on that, but that's something I'll get everybody some information on. It is a state program. It's not a Ridley Park program or a county program. It's a state program, and we would be following that criteria. All right, then back, still with the volunteerism. I spoke about, again, this whole Greens effort, you know, to gather some volunteers, and I've gotten some people who've reached out. So I kind of wanted to talk about, I don't want to put Mike on the spot, but what kind of is our plan? How does the process work in terms of like cleaning up some of these areas?
So, in the past, what we did, like, especially like if we had a fall festival coming up or anything, like, I know me and Rich, we would put it out there, hey, we're gonna do a cleanup the Wednesday prior, or something prior the week before, like if it's just a business district, or if there's certain events that are going on at the lake, hey, we wanna maybe plan something ahead of the game. Obviously, with the lake cleanup that we do yearly,
Right.
That's always a plus. And like I always told people, I'm amazed at how little trash there is sometimes when we do them cleanups. We find some great things,
Yeah.
but it's usually just word of mouth. We start like trying to, you know, be honest, we always try to plan it ahead of events, like 4th of July, we want to make sure ABC is taken care of. Obviously, our highway department does a great job staying on top of things as well, but that's how we've done it in the past, but we're always open to suggestions on other ways of doing it. And I know there's some hot spots that we really want to do, and there's some parks that we probably don't spend enough time in, whether it's Bonus or some of the parks down by Catania and stuff like that that stretch on our property. So I would like to expand it to where we look to do more and put it out there sooner, not just depend on an event coming up.
Because basically what I have in play is the volunteers to like, the areas that I identified was coming off of 95, going back onto 95. There's down limbs and trees and all that. And I know the highway, as spring hits, could hit a little bit of that. But I'm talking about the mulch, a little bit of flowers. Is there a budget or anything like that? Or should I try to get
Well, actually,
vendor
Stewart
support?
Avenue is PennDOT, that's the state. I mean,
So even where we have our sign and such?
but I asked Highway to kind of clean up that every once in a while. As far as putting mulch down, I mean, we could do it.
Right.
It's gonna have to come out of our budget, but technically it's state road there.
Interesting, okay. All right, so those were the 2 areas, because I kind of feel, to the public, I don't think we identify that as, once they see our sign, it's kind of like, that's Ridley Park now. That's my opinion. We were also looking at some of the pocket parks, like that America's Park and such. So what I've already put in place is, 3 or 4 volunteers along with a couple, softball teams that wanna give back. And these are older kids, 16 years old, 14, you know, that kind of thing, with their parents. They wanna clean it up, they wanna, again, if there was a financial burden, maybe I work on some sponsors or something like that, but something that we wanted to do for the spring, just to kind of clean that up. Do we need, permission then, or is it something we just do?
We've just done it in the past.
Okay.
What we were trying to do is, like Phil's Landscaping wanted to, donate their sign for like, advertising, and then they would actually take care of doing the landscaping and whatnot. That hasn't come to fruition yet, you know, I'm trying to still facilitate that with Phil's, but that was an idea.
Good, yeah.
But it is, on occasion, we do get some complaints, so I do send highway over there, and you'd be shocked what they pick up from the side of the road.
Alright, so for the public and for our team, more information to come, but we're gonna keep pushing forward on that.
Bob, can I just add to that too as well? Just another thing for the volunteers, especially if they're students of the high schools, and I mean all the high schools, whether it's Ridley, O'Hara, etc. I know for Honor Society, they need volunteer hours and stuff like that, and that's something where if we are gonna like take these kids and have them do it, it would be nice if we have some type of like email form, like they send in an email so we can at least document that, hey, they participated on this day. I know with the stream pick cleanup, I always sign my son up, and I know a lot of other people, and they have that, basically that paper trail for them to present to the schools and show that they did volunteer hours at a certain time. And another thing, and we've been blessed in this town numerous times with Eagle Scout projects that have absolutely done wonders in this town, so just another avenue that we may be able to do now.
So I'll make sure we coordinate it with the town, we don't just show up there with teams. We'll let the police know, I guess, or highway,
Yeah.
just so that it can be coned off, so that there's a little bit of safety and such in place. Then Mike had touched base on it, this is big for Ridley Park. We're one of the sites for this CRC watershed stream cleanup that affects our lake. This is a big deal, this is something we're gonna push hard on. The date is March 21st. That works tremendously, because we can talk about it tonight, but we could also hammer it home in 2 weeks, right before the actual event. So, this is one of our biggest cleanups of the lake, real important. You know, think of all the rain, the snow, the this, the that. Always letting people know that our lake bears the brunt from Springfield on down, with the water runoff coming down through all these different towns, and it all drops into Ridley Park and into our lake, our beautiful lake. So this is a chance to clean that up. Really important. Saturday, March 21st, starts at 9 a.m., goes to 11:30, and we need everybody's help and participation. All right, then I'm always gonna be talking Ridley Park Athletic Club, baseball, softball, t-ball, sign-ups going on right now. It's the last couple weeks. We wanna clean that up, get all the kids signed up. Also, I mentioned our partnership with the Miracle League of Delaware County. So, that's big. And we have a golf outing that's gonna take place in April, so I'll be talking that up a little bit. This is really, really important for our special needs kids, and it feeds into the athletic club and such, and we're gonna keep pushing that out. Then something that we talked about 2 months ago, we had communication come in right before our meeting tonight. Again, it's something we gotta stay on in terms of public safety. I forwarded this to the chief, because I saw you on the email. We have to look, it's right around St. James and the school area. Again, with traffic, with people coming down, with people, it's just really, really, it's an accident waiting to happen. So this is something we really need to address. I'm looking for help and support on this from council. I know this is something that was talked about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 2 years ago. They've come before, we've sat on this and we haven't done anything. So we need to take action. We need to communicate to these residents what's going on, what we're gonna do. Is some of it affected by the bridge being out? maybe. Is a possible compromise, because what they're looking for is a one-way. Is a possible compromise going back to what's around Lakeview and the middle school, where it's one way, 3 hours in the morning and 2 hours late afternoon, as a compromise with signage. You know, do we need police presence down there to kind of do a little study? So I'm urging council, let's not just sit on this and leave this alone. This is something we got to address, put a plan together, and move that along. Then I saw that Walt is doing a big project here with code enforcement, permits, fees, all that. That's tremendous. I just want to make sure we're instructing our code enforcement to, with these properties that I addressed in my message at the beginning of the year, about these properties that are just totally neglectful to the basic upkeep. Yeah, I love it. That's a safe word, so I don't go crazy here. But we have to make sure our code enforcement team is addressing these things. The properties are out there, communications have come into the borough manager, to council, to such, and they kind of just continue to kind of lay dormant. So we got to push on that. All right, I'm going to be bringing it up every month. If my help is needed, if there's anything that, as the mayor, I can do to point it out, do we have a meeting with code enforcement, whatever we need to do to address these properties and make sure that we're holding them accountable, because it does affect everyone in that neighborhood. And I'll push on to someone else. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so next we'll move on to the manager's report, so I'll pass it off to Trish.
Thank you, Madam President. Ridley Park will soon be requesting proposals for qualified vendors to serve as the borough's IT provider. Additional details regarding the upcoming request for proposals will be released in the near future. Anybody that you know may be an interesting firm, stay tuned for more information. Several councilors and myself have been meeting weekly to plan for our upcoming 4th of July celebration. As we prepare to commemorate our nation's 250th anniversary, we are committed to making this celebration like no other. We do have some exciting plans underway, but we need all hands on deck. So anyone that is interested in volunteering, you will see soon a post, a save the date type post, and also a volunteer post. So all those interested, we could really use the help. We have a lot of exciting things planned. There's still a lot more planning to go. Like we actually have a weekly meeting set up every Thursday evening. So anybody that's interested in joining in our meeting, we would love to have you. And also I want to touch on about the lake cleanup. That is scheduled for March 21st from 9 to 11:30. Sign-ups are from 8 a.m. There is a QR code on the flyer. You will see them displayed through Borough Hall. They're going to go in everyone's mailbox. All the councilors have it. You can just volunteer right on the QR code. And last, the borough engineer is requesting approval from council to begin the process for the 2026 road program in the amount of $20,000 to start their process. So I would need your approval for that. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you very much, Trish. All right, we will now move on to council business. So this is an opportunity for any member of council to discuss any topic that they would like. And for the sake of ease, let's just start down at the end with Mike. Melissa?
I didn't know you were gonna bring it up, but the RPF for our email. We have a draft, it should be in your email boxes, sorry, the council. But we do have a draft for the RPF for our email, which is for our phones, laptops, and computers in there. The final draft we will not only have out this week. We're gonna look for a quick turnaround and get the ball rolling. So at least we got phase 1 in the works, which I'm very excited about. But just, yeah, so we'll just draft RPF.
Awesome, thank you.
That's it.
Anything from Councilor Taggart?
Yeah. simplify everything, in all the ordinances and the pay structure. I had just sent out what, Ryan had sent us, or sent me and, Melissa with his recommendations. What I'd like to do is put that on our website, get the word out to the residents and people in, our business communities, so they can review it. I believe the police have that, and also the highway department has it also, they're reviewing it. So we wanna get it out there so everybody has a chance to look at it and let us know what they think, if they have any concerns or issues, that we can, you know, just take into account what's going on. The main issue is a lot of the regulations are just out of date and they don't follow state regulations. One of the big things is it's very difficult with the way everything's written now for a homeowner to work on their house. And that's just simply not right. It's your house, you know what's going on. If you got a problem, fix it if you can. The only thing we're asking is if it's a big project, get a permit so we can look at it, or have somebody look at it and make sure that everything's done properly. And we're not looking at it like a money grab. We want to get somebody out there to help you out, to see if there's any issues. Tonight, we just started out with the fee structure. The next part of it's gonna be the ordinances themselves, and that's gonna be the mother lode right there. We're gonna eventually have to work with our solicitor on that to get everything squared away with it. And then once we get everything all together, then we're gonna just try to put everything together as a package and then put it out. But before we put it out, we again gonna have it reviewed by the residents in the community and also the contractors who are working with it. So far, this has cost us nothing. All the input we have from the building inspector was just from his experience working with other communities, his company's experience. They put a lot of time into it. And so in the near future, I really don't see it costing too much on this thing. I don't think it's gonna cost us anything because everything's already in their database. We just have to pull it out and put it in place. One of the things, or one of the part of the puzzle is getting our filing system together, take it out and file the paper files and put everything digitally. And that's gonna be an issue. But I think, I'll work with Trish and we could probably get some, just kind of offers or bids in to see what we can do. And, I'm sure if we have enough people in, they can even give us some guidance, or maybe we can figure out something, different way to do it. But, we're not spending any money yet, we just wanna gather up information. Let's see. One of the other things is that, we're also gonna be working with the planning commission, the zoning board, and HARB. We have a lot of volunteers in the committees. And one of the things that the building inspector and I would like to see is to have the people in the committee be educated a little bit. And we had recommended, there was 4 classes that the state offers. Each class is $25, it's about an hour and a half or 2 hours to take it. And we would like to have the request and see if the budget, if we have the budget to have us pay for it. I figured it's about 21 people in the committees, and each class is $25, so it's about $600 for the whole thing. And it would help them out, get them, brought up to speed on what's going on. It would help us in our process, and it would help the committees to understand, what we're doing. And I believe that's about it. Any questions or suggestions?
I don't want to sound like I'm going against anything, but what would determine a major job and somebody just wanting to fix something in their house? Like, the only reason why I say that is like, I feel like this, by just saying, all right, go fix it, the toilet, you need to fix a toilet, replace a toilet, that's fine. That's my fear of us,
Right
just,
now, what we wanna try and do is, if you look at the ordinance itself, you go crazy. You know, just looking at the permanent fee structure. And we wanna simplify it, just simplify.
which I understand, that's fine, but still having them there, I think, is important.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, but, you know, if they don't file for it, we won't know anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing we're suggesting is, hey, give it a try, you know, things have changed a little bit, we want you to work on your house, but we want you to be kind of educated on it and understand the process, or understand what you need, maybe you can, you know, bring it up to date on the new things that are out there.
Okay, and the only other, like, these are our fees, right?
That's the way they are right now.
That's how they are right now. I'm gonna, Ron, can I throw this, like, us putting this out there for the people to review and get feedback, there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's.
I mean, that is part of the process.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't, like I said, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It sounded like earlier when you were saying that it was like, we need to look the other way for people that want to fix things in their house.
So, no, right now, at the present time, if you read the ordinances, you're not allowed to work on any electric except to change a light bulb in the house. That's crazy. You know, I'm not gonna spend $300 to have somebody come in and change a light switch out. But if you're gonna start rewiring the house a little bit or do something, I mean, it's being done right now. The only thing we're suggesting is, lighten up a little bit and, bring us in so we can just at least look at it and have it okay. Part of the process too is, you know, God forbid if you do the electric yourself and something screws up and you catch fire, well then you might not be, you know, your insurance company might say something to you.
Agreed.
You know?
I think that's sort of what I'm getting at a
Yeah.
little bit, like, I don't want us to have people kind of like go on YouTube now and try to rewire their light switch or do anything like that. So
Correct.
I guess I'm just still worried about just telling people, just do it yourself, just don't worry about it. Like,
No,
I know
no,
people
we're
are
not saying-
capable.
No, we're not saying take, that's why we want to leave it permit. We want to leave it
Okay.
permit and make sure they understand what they're doing. You know,
Like,
maybe.
like to me, electrical, we should be we should be the ones doing the okay for things. I know you're capable of changing a light switch, I may not be. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want a resident just to think, hey, you know, council said, hey, it's an easy job, I'll go do it myself.
To your point, there's probably a middle ground type of scenario where you gotta be careful of, you give too much, and then you have people that are gonna take and do something.
Well,
sideways.
100%, I feel like
It needs to be
simplifying,
extremely
making it as much simple, making it digital, making it like a one-click type thing, 100% on board with that. I think that's a great idea. So I don't wanna sound like I'm being negative towards what you wanna do. Let's throw it out there, like you said, get some feedback, I have no problem with that. I just wanna make sure that we're not putting a message out to people, like, hey, go for it.
No, the way I always look at it is also if you go and bring an electrician in to do the light switch, and really, okay, yeah, I'll pay for the permit fee and all that, but then the electrician comes along with it and everything else. You know, it's a $3 light switch, and it's cost you $300 to put it in. People aren't gonna do that anyway, they're just gonna get the light switch and put it in. So,
I just don't wanna get
so
to
if
the
you make
okay.
it fees, yeah, I mean,
That's all, I just don't wanna be the one saying that's okay, because if something does happen, then all of a sudden, well, council basically gave me permission to do it.
right, but I'd like to get the fee structure down low enough, so we can send somebody in, I'd like to get to the point where maybe we can have like, you know, local electricians to okay it, or, you know, just go in the house and say, yeah, you did fine,
Okay.
you know, or something.
Alright.
But,
I don't have anything else, but I'm.
And you're looking right now just to post this, the fee schedule, correct?
that's right, just so
With-
they can
with
review it,
Ryan's
and if
notes.
anybody sees any issues or, you know, some suggestions,
The ordinance is, yeah, like you said, it's a whole nother ballgame,
yeah,
but just the fee schedule with Ryan's notes.
correct.
Okay.
And then we'll take the other one later on, that's gonna be a lot longer
Yeah.
to do that.
I mean, you're not expecting anybody to say, oh, no, you're charging too little, or anything, right? We're definitely gonna get feedback like, that's too much, that's too much, that's too much.
Well, some of the things were too much on there, you know, and that's the stuff we wanna The contractors all across the board, you know, all around here, work in different
I don't
municipalities.
disagree one bit.
And if we're not uniform with them, you know, a lot of them won't come here. So we wanna make sure it's simple for them and simple for the owners, you know, who's ever getting the work done.
Sounds good, good work.
And Walt, the only other thing I had is, back to volunteerism, we had that one opening on planning. We had that one gentleman that came up, tremendous background, but from what I understand, there's a couple other candidates,
That's right.
just so that we could maybe, move forward on that, to fill that vacancy.
Yeah, I think there was also one in, Har, and, I think that's gonna get filled up pretty soon.
Okay, good.
So, I think that's, they're getting filled.
Absolutely, thank you, Walt. Counselor Harris?
Yeah, sure. I met with the business association on last Thursday, but they discussed the parking in downtown and how it's very strangely enforced. So I'm actually working with them to try and find a better way to, maybe we don't have to pay parking all the way up to 8 o'clock. And I actually want to ask the rest of council their views about that, but I think that's something we can get done very quickly, make it more easy to pay any tickets you may have, and get more signage up so that people know when they actually need to pay.
Yeah, I definitely, echo those same concerns that the business association has brought to Counselor Harris. I've definitely heard the same things along the lines of increased signage, maybe work on those hours for the business district, especially when people are out to dinner on the weekends, so they're not running in and out of the restaurant, trying to make sure their meter is paid so they don't get a ticket. And, I think I mentioned it last meeting, but I'm also trying to work with, I just mentioned to Councilor Boyce, who's been doing a lot of phenomenal work on upgrading the technology with the borough, on a lot of different ends, and, see if I would be able to link up with her and Chris Buchanan, who's been doing a lot of help on that end, to, bring the parking ticket payments online, and maybe even have it so that you can call and pay by phone. And I know eventually I would like to see some kind of drop boxes, maybe even just at Borough Hall, so that the process of taking care of that is simplified, and then you're taking some of that off of the police force, who have a lot to do on their own end. Take some of that busy work away. And then additionally, I just had one comment on Counselor Horan was not able to be here tonight, but she passed along a note. She had started taking a look at the current police towing contract and raised the idea of, I think she was trying to look for whatever current documents we have in place and look at the cost effectiveness and comprehensiveness of whatever services we're currently utilizing, and looking to, I guess, maybe updating or getting an update on that contract. So that was all I was left from her. And that wraps it up on my end, so I will conclude council business if we have nothing else.
I just want to go back to the parking thing. I would love for us to be able to, like, say after 8 o'clock, you know, we're not gonna charge anything. But one of the problems is we're limited on parking there. So for people to be able to go to the restaurant, if people just park there and don't move, nobody's gonna be able to park. That's one of the problems, you know, you do fall in line with. That was one of the things, even employees, like if they end up taking them spots, then it's gonna be hard for anybody that wants to go to the restaurants to be able to do it. So I think it's a great idea if we can figure out a way to make sure that employees are parking somewhere, and that other shops that are maybe open later don't have people there for 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah, absolutely, that definitely sounds
That's
very reasonable.
Yeah, so that's sort of where it is with that. Just, you know, a timeline always gave you, but maybe we can figure out a way to make it work, so.
Yeah, absolutely, I would definitely be interested in having, like, I think between between all of us putting our heads together and looking at the parking situation in the downtown, especially with, we have that really highly anticipating the gas light and that becoming a new scene. I think hopefully with the bridge reopening eventually and having that parking up that Sellers Avenue available again, that'll take off some of the burden, but definitely a lot to be desired for the parking situation. I think getting creative with it would be a good idea. Anything else? Thank you. So I guess with that, we can go ahead and move on to public comment. So we'll close council business and move on to public comment. So public comment portion of the meeting at this time, any resident who would desire has the opportunity to come forward and address the council. And if you'd like to speak, just please step up to the podium and give your name and address, and you will have 5 minutes. And we'll open the floor.
Good evening, Andy Farmer, 419 Palmer Street. Just some different questions, if you will. So there was a request, or something mentioned earlier about the borough engineer requesting $20 million. $20,000, excuse me, $20,000 to get the street repaving started. Is that, so now, so we're on the same page. Aqua has already, contributed, if you will, $190,000, if I'm correct, 170, 190 for the streets around the lake that have been torn up already for them to be repaved. So, is this $20,000 over and above that, or completely
Completely
separate?
different, completely different streets.
Okay, and I guess everyone's aware that there's nothing in the budget right now for street paving, outside of the Aqua money.
This will be from liquid fuels.
Well, my reading of the budget is that the liquid fuels money is already budgeted for other things. Like street lighting, for example, just off the top of my head. So that if any money is taken for street paving, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm not saying that it's not inadequate for $20,000, but just keep in mind, I don't think, I think we need to look at the budget a second time and, so that everybody's on the same page. And this would be outside of the budget, over and above. So I think we, can leave that, at this point. Also, Ms. Boyce, at the last meeting, you had mentioned about the sound system. And you've been working with a consultant, it sounds like, and you made the comment that what's being proposed right now seems to be 1/2 of the cost.
So it's actually, it's all gonna be broken out into like 3 phases. Like our webpage will be phase 2, and all of our servers and whatnot, and actually electrical in this building will be phase 3. Because that's a bigger cost, so we have to see what that. But right now, immediately, just with our email service, we're already saving money, like immediately. Our current contract was up in February, the end of February. We had spoke to
For
our.
the website, Dennis?
No, for our email services and the computer services in the office. And we had got a 60-day extension with our current provider because we're doing the changeover, and that's, we're gonna put the RFP out for new services start May 1st. But even with the 60-day, we've already saved money for the year because our current provider was very expensive.
I see.
So it's 3 phases that we're doing.
Okay, so, is the email and the website together? I mean, this.
No, it's separate right now.
It's separate, and
Yes.
it's like 2 separate contracts?
Yes.
Okay,
Everything's split up that way as it is now.
so for an order of magnitude, what are we talking about for the email versus the website? How much
So
money are we
right
talking
now,
about?
we're, what, 42,000 a year, and we're going down to about 20 for the email part.
Just for email?
And Microsoft 360, all that, like, just your programs on your,
Mhm.
the Office
know that a bid's gonna come in at 20.
Yeah, around there,
For them.
yeah.
And then what about the website?
So that, we had one meeting a couple weeks ago with a website vendor, I do not remember the cost on that,
14,
it was 14 for the new one?
8 for the first year setup, and then 3 every year after
It
that.
was something, no, and that was just, it was just our initial meeting, and an RFP's gonna have to go after that as well, but we're looking to go from like 14 down to.
Are we paying for the website right now at all? I
Yeah,
remember
for
it
our
used to
service,
be.
yeah.
How much is that currently?
Yearly.
$350 a month.
I said, so, 4,000 for the year.
We've had a lot of issues with our website at this point. We're delayed in posting and whatnot, so we are looking to move.
So were there 3 components to what's going out right now? I'm thinking I missed something. Email, website, and a third part
The
component?
audio and all that in here.
That's gonna be included in this RFP right now?
Nope, no, that's the last phase.
That's the last
That's
phase.
where we might have to put money out, because we wanna look at so you know how like our TV never works, and Comcast always comes back and says, our lines are fine, it's your lines. The electrical in here, we think, is, just from an initial overview, is very old and dated.
Mhm.
So to get all of that updated, again, that's where we might have to put money out, obviously replace. So that's,
Certainly sounds like
yeah,
it.
so that's the end, the back end,
Mhm.
that's the last phase. As far as getting the audio, getting like what we wanna do is have like the mics that hang down, you know, so you're hands-free and all that, that's the last phase.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just for our emails on our phone, our laptop, what the girls use in the office,
Okay.
that's just what we're doing right now.
And quick question, so what was the second phase? Third phase was electrical. What was second phase?
Website, the website is
Second?
two, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Emily's giving me the eagle eye.
That's your moment, sorry, Andy, thank you.
For road service, you know that, I was talking to a couple other people, other council members in different communities, and, they started to look around for, sharing, like if we have a road project, have them work together and, you know, put it out as a bid, so make it a bigger bid, but maybe give it a lower price, has that ever been done?
I don't think we've ever done that. We've, like I said, we've always just, you know, looked at the roads that needed it and went through usually with liquid fuels, right, for any type of road project that we have in the
Yeah.
past. I mean, obviously, it's something we can look to, maybe down the road, probably not gonna be for this year, but definitely maybe down the road.
What am I supposed to do with this? Anything or just let it sit?
It's not gonna be people tonight, but no, it should be on, it's on, yeah.
Yeah, could hear you fine.
Okay.
Terry Forrest, 387 Johnson. First, I want to say I have lived long enough to get a tax bill that was lower than the years past, so thank you. Thanks for the council in the previous that worked so hard because, I don't know, I realize the circumstance of our borough, our town, what it's going through. It really wasn't fair for you guys to take a lot of hits about what was going on, to try to keep things going. I don't know everything, but all I know is I was a happy person when I got my bill. It was over $500 less. And the the trash situation, very good. I always like when somebody thinks outside the box, so thank you. One thing I do have a question for is, it seems to be a different date that the tax is due. The last year, I think it was, the end of April, and this year it is due the 1st of April.
That's because the tax bills were mailed out late last year.
Oh, okay,
And we have to give, 60 days for discount,
okay.
so.
All right, so that makes sense. And the last thing is, with the county, I got 2 tax bills. Did you also, okay, so it's not just me that they want me to, okay.
Were they the same?
What was that?
Was it different?
Yeah, you know what, it seemed like the second one was kind of a fake one. I mean, it wasn't like
Yeah,
perforated
it's
and
like
the envelope was different where, you know what I mean? So I was like, is it just me? But I just
Sue,
wanted
you
to
have
check
something to add, 'cause I can add
It's not
something on
just
that.
you,
Yeah.
we found out that the county, when they initially sent the bills out. So many people did not receive a bill that they decided to just do another mailing.
A massive,
So
okay,
that, a lot of people got two, some got one.
right. So I saved the.
You only have to pay
Let's
once,
just
pay
pay
once.
Okay. The second thing I have is the Center Foundation, the sale for what's known as Taylor Hospice down there on Chester Pike in the development. Is the sale final? Does anyone know?
It is not.
It is not,
It is
okay.
not.
Is that why the for sale sign on Chester Pike is still there?
I believe so.
I've just seen a lot of clearing going on in the woods in the upper, what I call the upper.
Yeah, it has not been finalized yet.
Okay, and gas lines and stuff like that, so I thought, there was some damages from the storm that I didn't know who's gonna be taking care of what, and up by the Pisano House, what they call it, Pisano House, there's some large arborvitaes that are down. That to me is out of the way, but there's something on Chester Pike, a tree that's down and across the sidewalk, and it looks like it was cleaned out of the street, but that's down, I don't know who that would belong to.
All that still is PCF, so I can reach out to them.
Okay, so I was gonna bring this up at the last council meeting, but I was stuck out there because of the crowd, and then it got a little rambunctious in here, but I honestly want to know, and I want to ask about the manager position status. And Trish, I wanna ask you a question up front. Do you want to have this position? Do you wanna stay and continue the work that you've been doing? Because it's amazing to me that I believe.
Terry, I'm
it's
gonna be
in
honest with
January.
you. I'm extremely proud of the job that I've done in just a year and a half. I would like to continue to move Ridley Park forward in a positive way. I truly believe I can, help with that process. It's been a trying month and a half for me.
Mhm.
But to answer your question and not to go any further, given the opportunity, yes, I absolutely would take the job.
Folks, I mean, the time that she has been here speaks for itself. Okay, I believe with the cable situation, the website, the electric, she's been involved, correct?
Yes.
You bring your own network, or not, I don't wanna say your own network, but you bring your experience and your networking that I'm sure has helped with the budget, and the tax bill, the trash situation. Anything that we have that's been a problem, you seem to be able to, I don't wanna say just work on it, you seem to be able to resolve it. So, my request as a taxpayer, as someone who's worked in administrations in many different aspects for over 30 years before I left, why can't we at least have her for her time of her contract that's left? I feel as though I'm a kid being a taxpayer that's going through my parents' bad divorce. Do you understand? You guys being, yeah, the divorce. And I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. The way that this borough has gone through such a complex situation of negative, I think she brings the positive. I don't care what the situation is, that if there's the political aspect, if it's people just don't like other people, if somebody else wants to step into that position that thinks they can do better, let's stay with what we got,
Love it,
okay? Because,
excellent.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Aren't you glad I didn't take up this time of the meeting?
I'm glad you came and spoke.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you know what, I was just
Terry.
thinking with,
I'm so
5
sorry.
minutes?
Yeah, I'm so sorry, that's 5 minutes,
I
but
like that.
thank you for your comment.
Thank you very much.
thank you very much. Anyone else? All right, going once, going twice,
Our new record.
sold. Okay, so, now I guess we will go ahead and move on to first up tonight, we have a motion to approve facility permit for the Ridley Park Athletic Club to use ABC Field for their opening day celebration on April 11th, 2026, with the rain date on April 2nd, 2026. And do I hear a maker for this motion?
It'll be made for the park, so.
Yep. Okay, so Mike made the motion, and do I have a second?
Second.
Melissa seconds. Do I hear any comments or questions? Hearing none. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion carries. Oh, that's what I get for using my timer. All right. So next we have a motion to appoint Laura Hess to the Historic Commission for the remainder of a vacant 4-year term set to expire 12/31/2029. Do I hear a maker of this motion?
I'll be that maker.
Counselor Boyce makes the motion. Do I hear a second? Counselor McGinley seconds. Do I have any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. And the motion carries. Up next, we have a motion to approve HARB Certificate of Appropriateness for roof and gutter replacements at 206 Creswell with the following conditions. Number 1, the Yankee-style gutter on the front porch will remain as is or be replaced in kind with the Yankee-style gutter system. And then 2, the front-facing gutters and downspout for the main roof shall be replaced with copper gutters and downspouts. Do I hear a maker for this motion? Counselor Taggart makes the motion, and do I hear a second? Counselor Harris seconds. Do I have any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. And the motion carries. Next we have a motion to approve HARB Certificate of Appropriateness for replacement of 5 wood windows with vinyl windows at 302 East Ridley with the following conditions. Number 1, aftermarket raised muntins must be provided, and number 2, window trim and coloring must be consistent with replaced materials. Do I hear a maker for this motion? Counselor Taggart makes the motion. Do I hear a second? Counselor Harris seconds. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. And the motion carries. Up next, a motion to approve January 13th, 2026 special meeting minutes. Do I have a maker for this motion? Counselor Taggart makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Counselor Boyce seconds. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. And the motion carries. Next, a motion to approve the January 20th, 2026 council meeting minutes. Do I hear a maker for this motion? Counselor Harris makes the motion. Do I hear a second? Counselor McGinley seconds. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. And the motion carries. And then finally, lastly, a motion to approve February 3rd, 2026 workshop meeting minutes. Do I hear a maker for this motion? I'll make the motion. And then do I hear a second? Counselor Harris seconds. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. And the motion carries. All right. Okay. That's right. Thank you. Just wanted to let everybody know as well that we are going to have an executive session immediately following this meeting tonight to discuss a personnel matter. And I think with that, we will see if anybody has a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Oh, Counselor Boyce makes the motion, and do I have a second?
I'll second.
Counselor McGinley seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? And we are adjourned.